key that unlocks the door for anybody in this room that has struggled with their health. Raise your hand if you've ever struggled with any part of your health inside of your life, right? Yeah, pretty much everybody in this room. At some point, we all struggle with some part of our health in there. These products are so innovative, and the biggest thing that separates these is how adaptogenic these products are. So what that means is that if you were dealing with, let's just say, issues A, B, and C, and you were dealing with issues X, Y, and Z, if you take these, or when you take these, they are so adaptogenic that what it's gonna need to do for you, it's gonna do for you. And what it's gonna actually need to do for you, it's gonna do for you. It literally acts as if they were 2 or 3 different supplements, but they are just so adaptogenic to what you have actually going on. If you look at the most common diseases in America, if you look at the common diagnosis, if you look at the 90% of metabolic disorders in America, the top killers, your cancers, diabetes, Alzheimer's, heart diseases, all of those things, every single one of them have 3 things going on in the human body 100% of the time. Guaranteed, these 3 things are happening, and it's at the root of every bad cell that gets created in your body. Mitochondrial and cellular dysfunction, because you are just a bunch of cells, chronic inflammation, and a bad gut, and a bad digestive tract, or something called leaky gut, which then causes you to have a bad immune system. And if you have a bad immune system, you can't fight things off, you will be diagnosed with stuff. So these 3 products were designed not only to support, but it actually heals and helps all 3 of those things. I firmly and foundationally believe that if the world actually had access to the Max Living lifestyle and these 3 products right over here, you would see a radical shift in the health of humanity. One of the most powerful things is this: there are 20 clinically studied ingredients in their clinically studied dosages that are inside of these products right here. So just to show you how powerful this is and what's happening in our clinic, you guys, a lot of you in a clinic, take some of these things over here. Every single one of these supplements are in these 3 right over here. And not only that, in their clinically studied dosage. What does that mean? I'm gonna talk about a certain product here, or an ingredient. You guys may have heard of it, called ashwagandha. It is something that has been and was popular. Like, so much of that ingredient itself has been hijacked because it's so popular. Again, a couple of years ago, it was the thing, but it was not put in products at the dose that the studies showed people get the benefits of. It was like 1/100th of the actual quantity, but if you have a little bit of it, you can say, I have ashwagandha in this, right? So there's a big difference between having good ingredients, but if they're not in their clinically studied dosages, you are not gonna get the most out of it. Have you heard of, anybody in this room heard of someone named Jordan Rubin before? Okay, a lot of people have. He's like the supplement creator of natural supplements over the last 30 years. The guy has formulated multiple companies that have went and sold for hundreds of millions of dollars. He knows what he's doing with supplements. He's actually the creator and the brander of our foundational 3, and he is partnered with Max Living now. And I am so excited about that, because the dude knows, and this is everything he created is because of our needs of our world right now. So I love that he is innovative when it comes to what do we need. You guys are gonna see, I'm gonna go through, not everything. Now my scientific people are gonna be, no, go through everything. No. I'm gonna go through just, I know who you are. I'm gonna go through a couple highlights of each of these products here so you guys can kind of see where the innovation actually comes in. First things, multi-kingdom approach. So you guys probably know this in biology. We have different kingdoms: animal kingdom, plant kingdom, bacterial kingdom, fungal kingdom. You want exposure to all these different kingdoms. So these 3 supplements have an exposure to every single one of them, so you have access for your body to not only get those nutrients, but adapt and actually allows it to feed a lot of your cells in a much, much deeper way. So some of the lesser known kingdoms which make these products super stable is absolutely amazing as well. So multi-kingdom approach, again, very different, because a lot of supplements will have things like a plant-based supplement, or some like protein supplements will have just the animal-based supplements. If you're taking things like a probiotic, that'll only have the bacterial-based things. So to have the multi-kingdom approach, you get a vast variety across your body. We are introducing the first supplements on the planet right now, as of right now. There will probably be more, because again, this will catch on soon. Regenerative, organic, certified organs that are inside of here. A lot of products out there have had organs. Max Living has not had one yet. So we are like, we need an organ product for sure, because there's so many nutrients in organs. But this is the first that's regeneratively, organically certified. This is very different because if you guys don't know, our soil in America, soil today is about 70% less dense and rich than it was 50, 60 years ago. So the same soil today that vegetables are growing out of, there's a reason people aren't getting the same amount of health benefits because it's depleted. So regenerative practices means that we have turned that soil over, rehealed the land, then grew things that the animals are then eating off of this. So these actual supplements and the regenerative organs are from a place in Australia, actually, that we are getting, the farm that we get these products from. So liver, number one, they call it nature's multivitamin. Just look at the amount of nutrients inside. They are so packed with nutrients. They're actually through the roof. Just a serving of this has 5,000% of vitamin A inside of the body. Vitamin B12, we're going to talk a lot about B vitamins here in a second. You got your iron, you got your zinc. So in this, do you think you're getting enough quality of nutrients? Yeah, you're getting more than enough quality inside there. Kidneys. You're like, oh my gosh. Well, supports urinary epithelial lining, provides critical source of something called diamine oxidase, which actually helps allergies. So if you got anything like allergies, this has an antihistamine in there, which over time allows you to build resistance to histamine-causing stimuli, which could be foods, different stuff, and it also helps reheal the histamine markers inside of the gut as well, which just provides you to not be as allergic to certain things. There's certain people who are allergic to certain foods that may start taking this, that all of a sudden in a couple weeks to months might actually start being able to introduce foods back in because you don't become as sensitive inside there. Not every single one of the organs are going to be regenerative yet, so the other ones are at least grass-fed, grass-finished organs inside there. So when you look at this, you got the bovine thyroid, you got the liver, you got adrenal, you got pancreas. These actually provide the peptides and the building blocks for our own organs to actually build off of these right over here. So it actually supports the corresponding systems inside of our bodies as well. Absolutely, again, you're not going to see these in a lot of this stuff. So the first of the three, cellular health and longevity. This is and would be considered probably the most important of the three that we're actually talking about. If someone was only able to do one of the three, this is the one that they're recommended unless they have a specific digestive issue or they have a specific detox or inflammatory issue that they're dealing with. So when you look at this, optimizes cellular energy, metabolism, and hormonal balance for overall vitality and longevity. We're going to go through. This one has 9 clinically studied ingredients inside of here. The first one is called PQQ. I'm not going to even try pronouncing that to not embarrass myself up over here, but PQQ is what they considered CoQ10's big brother. So a lot of people have heard of CoQ10 and the benefits of that. PQQ is actually a massive cellular energizer. So if CoQ10 was like a average riding lawnmower, PQQ is like your full-blown bulldozer. It is packed, again, with cellular energizing qualities inside there. It has over 1,000 studies actually showing its ability to improve mitochondrial health. Mitochondria, again, is the powerhouse of your guys' cells. So when those are destroyed, it actually creates the whole unraveling process, which then creates the inflammation, which then creates the actual free radicals that build inside the body. So to be healthy, you have to first heal at a cellular level. When you look at the longevity, the PQQ is neuroprotective and it has cognitive benefits as well. The next one is melon extract. Melon extract actually comes from something called a French cantaloupe is where this comes from. They chose a French cantaloupe because they found that it actually stayed fresher and healthier 3 weeks longer than the other cantaloupes around the area because of its high antioxidant qualities. It is considered anti-aging to the body. Who likes that? Raise your hand if you want to have more anti-aging properties to your body. Absolutely. Because aging to your cells is what creates damage to your cells. It combats stress. It helps reduce stress hormones inside of the body. Now, this was a thing, ashwagandha root. So this one has a very, very high quality. The world's actually leading ashwagandha brand is what we are sourcing this from. Ashwagandha was one of those things where a few years ago, there was actually a worldwide shortage in ashwagandha because of how popular it got, that people who were putting it in their products, like we said, they had maybe 1, 2, 3% of it actually in there compared to what the clinical dose actually showed that it needed. So in here, you're gonna have it at the clinical dose, and I will tell you, as a testament, it is a powerhouse to the energy that you actually have inside of your body. It balances your hormones. It reduces cortisol inside of you. It gives you thyroid support. It has massive energy improvements. It improves sleep, sexual benefits for both men and women. It increases strength and it increases endurance inside of the body. Okay? That is one of, you look at all those things. If America had those things right there, could we function a little bit better? Yes. The other ones inside of here, methylated B vitamins. Okay? Who's ever heard of B vitamins and how important they are? Anybody know what the difference between methylated B vitamins versus your average B vitamins are? Methylated is they're already in their active forms. So if they're already in their active forms, when they enter you, guess what happens to the absorbability of them? They're significantly faster inside there. And I can tell you right now, B vitamins are depleted in most Americans. Raise your hand right now if you drink coffee. Raise your hand if you had coffee this morning. Okay, keep your hands up. Raise your hand if you had green tea this morning or you drink tea instead. Raise your hands if you drink any type of caffeine in your life. You're B vitamin deficient, depleted. B vitamins deplete, caffeine depletes our B vitamins, which again, it's why we are crashing as Americans and a lot of people have these energy issues. It is energy support. It supports healthy homocysteine levels and again, mitochondrial function. I, for the longest time, have been a 2 caffeine a day guy. I can easily have 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, and for probably 2 to 3 years, that's kind of where I have been. I could do coffee in the morning, gets me through. Afternoon, I would have a little bit of crash. I would either do a coffee or there's a energy drink called Riot, which is super, super clean. It's got 160 milligrams of caffeine, and to me, I would do okay on that, and I would be able to function. As soon as 2 weeks ago, my team and I, a couple of our team members started taking these foundational 3, and within the first week, I literally got to my 2nd cup of coffee or energy drink in the afternoon, and I started actually feeling anxiety, and I started like hyperventilating. I almost started getting palpitations, so I cut back on 1. 5 days later, as of last week, I've actually completely cut out coffee and caffeine as of last Monday. So who would want a supplement that can actually feel different inside of your body, right? Like, guys, how many of you guys take things and I've done it for 10 years. I've taken supplements, and I've never really had chronic health issues, so it's not like I've ever felt major differences when I take supplements, only my immune-boosting ones when I'm not feeling well. But this one, I can tell you right now, powerhouse, even if you feel well, you guys, if you start taking this, you're gonna feel different within the first 2 to 4 weeks. You're gonna have, and I pray, a boatload of more energy, or you're gonna be detoxing some stuff. Because when we get to the next one, you'll see 50-50. 2 of us in our office, we went through the roof on our energy. 2 of us in our office started doing some detoxing and got some stuff out, and now we're starting to see the energy 2 weeks later. So sometimes it might take a little bit of that up going inside there. So yes, literally yesterday, I was at a coffee shop studying almost all day for this, and I'm like, okay, it's been a week. Let's have a coffee. I actually was not tired, but I'm like, I kind of miss it. I do love the taste of coffee, especially Lima here in town. So I literally took one. My wife was scared last night. I got home and I'm like, okay, I literally feel like I'm about to have a heart attack right now. And it was my confirmation that I literally am done with caffeine. And I have seriously been upbeat, like this morning, no caffeine, no nothing. When I came out here screaming, y'all like, what is that guy doing? Foundational 3. Okay, second product, inflammation and immunity. How can you be healthy if you don't have a good immune system? How could you be healthy if you have chronic levels of inflammation? And here's the thing, if you live the standard American lifestyle, We all have inflammation. And inflammation is at the root of what disease? Anybody know? Every. Cancer, but most every disease, inflammation. So this is a comprehensive support to this is not an anti-inflammatory. This is a inflammatory supporter. What is the difference? In chiropractic, we always look at things from a vitalistic standpoint. So inflammation is not bad. Inflammation is needed, it's necessary, it's protective, it's actually your body's innate immune response to go heal an area. So if I right now sprain my ankle right now and my ankle started swelling, that's my brain bringing blood and inflammation to the area. In fact, in that moment, the worst thing I could have done was ice it, because now I've actually slowed down the healing process in there. So would I, as a principled chiropractor, want to have a supplement that reduced your inflammation? No. I want to have something that would actually support and perfect your inflammation, so that way your body knows what to do with the actual inflammation. There's a big difference. These are actually immunomodulatory, which they modulate your actual inflammation inside there. So when you look at the 6 clinically studied ingredients in here, organic vitamin A, organic vitamin D, and now finally, some of you guys know this difference between K2, our vitamin D in our clinic never had K2, now we actually have the combination of that. These things help modulate your inflammation to help bring it to the optimal areas in the right dose. Vitamin D, thousands of studies that show the benefits of vitamin D and all of different areas of benefits for that. Immune support, inflammation response, brain. Vitamin K2 helps the vitamin D3 by actually allowing the skeletal absorption of calcium inside of your bones inside there. So it helps arterial inflammation, cardiovascular support. Big thing in our country right now, cardiovascular issues skyrocketed always, but the last 4 years especially. So having something like that to benefit something that is just in our world is super incredible. Okay. Hydrolyzed eggshell membrane collagen. Collagen, you guys have known collagen is good for your hair, your skin, your nails. This supplement has 10 different types of collagen inside there. A lot of supplements will have 1 or 2. So when you have a vast majority of that, you are going to see the benefits in things like your joints, your ligaments, your tendons, your skin, your resilience, the beauty. It's used for athlete endurance. It is, again, absolutely phenomenal. Boswellia extract, if you've ever heard of that, supports healthy inflammation in your gut. Guys, leaky gut. We're going to get to that in the next one. That is a culprit in most of America right now. Supports healthy inflammation in your joints. And then ginger. A lot of you guys know about ginger and its anti-inflammatory properties. Organic fermented ginger pomace extract. Healthy inflammation response, healthy digestion, and a healthy immune response. You think about just, again, those 3 things. If you have good digestion, if you have a good immune system, if you have good ability for your body to handle inflammation, you can combat the world and the toxins and all the stuff that we can't get away from. You can certainly minimize it in your lifestyle, but a lot of us have just been exposed to a lot of this stuff for decades. So a lot of this is just to clean out house and to start supporting what our body's actually done. Okay, and finally, the 3rd one, digestion and detox. Probably gonna be also the most popular and most needed one in our clinic because of how many digestive issues we have started to see in just the last 3-4 years for sure, but honestly, forever. This first one ingredient in here, the most important one, is something called B. subtilis. B. subtilis is actually a bacteria. So when Dr. Rubin actually formulated this, they studied 1,600 different bacteria to figure out which probiotic they wanted to use in this. B. subtilis with the specific strand AB22 was far more superior than every other one because of its stability and how strong it is. It was able to last, and I'm going to show you something that's incredible right now, but it was able to withstand more than any of the other bacteria. That's why it's the main ingredient in this. Anti-SIBO. So if you have SIBO or you struggle with that, it doesn't actually create higher. It modulates and it is anti-proliferative against a lot of these bacteria, so it will help. This is the first and only current supplement in the world right now that has a glyphosate shield to it. And now this is the big one. You guys have probably heard in the beginning, 6 billion, 60 billion, whatever it was, pounds of pesticides sprayed. Every one of you in this room are exposed to glyphosate at some level. You guys have Roundup that has been sprayed on foods, on your grass, on the golf courses. When you go out to parks, this stuff is sprayed everywhere. And glyphosate is what actually creates most gluten intolerances in today's world. You look at a lot of cancer, glyphosate, Roundup, tons of actual litigation against them. They've paid out $11 billion, Monsanto, in just the last couple years, decade, because of the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma it causes, actually. So when you look at glyphosate and why when people come off of gluten, they get good results, and why you can go to like places like Europe and have gluten and not have any effects, it's because not the gluten, but the glyphosate that's actually sprayed over here. So this was a study that they did where, if you look at that graph right over here, you've got 3 lines. The gray is the permeability of when someone puts food in their body with no glyphosate on there. What happens is you put in food, it creates something called permeability, where your gut opens up a little bit of the gap junctions to allow nutrients in, and then once nutrients pass, you want your gut to go back to a strong permeability. So you can see when you eat normal food, within 10 minutes, you get that permeability, and then within about an hour, you go back to a normal gut. The orange is what happens when you are exposed to glyphosate. So when you're exposed to glyphosate, an hour later, you still have a very permeable gut, AKA a leaky gut. And what happens when you have a leaky gut and now proteins and toxins go through? They go into your blood, they start attaching themselves to foreign objects, and now you get a lot more autoimmune conditions inside there. So this supplement, when they took it and they introduced people to B. subtilis AB22, you look right after about 60 minutes, you're almost back to pre-glyphosate levels. So something that every American most likely will be needing. And this is not only just a glyphosate binder, you guys, this is a shield. This product breaks down hydrocarbons. And most organopeptides have a carbon backbone, which means they multiply every 20 minutes in your gut. This will break it down and actually allow that absorption to be back to almost normal. Incredible. Intracellular antioxidant production. So this product has glutathione, catalase, superoxide dismutase. This is a detoxifier, not just at the colon, but throughout the entire body at a cellular level. Digestive support, elimination support, immune support. It generates cellulase. So if you eat plant-based, you need cellulase to actually break down cellulose. So this helps that. It activates within 45 minutes, so it's fast, versus most take up to 6 hours to actually activate. And a couple other ones, Saccharomyces boulardii, it's a good one, right? It is a digestion, gut-related immune support. It protects against microbiome antibiotics. So if you take antibiotics, this is a great one that helps it. And then finally, the most important one, as you guys have heard, and I'm gonna dive into this in the second half, B. licheniformis. I just like saying that. B. licheniformis. This is the first supplement on the market in the world right now, as well as a glyphosate shield. It's a microplastic binder, and it breaks them down. And you guys have heard how much we're exposed to microplastics, and guess what, you guys? Microplastics are in everything, and the main source of them today, if you guys don't know, it's in our water. So when you guys are bathing every day and you're showering and if you don't have a whole house full filter, you're bathing yourself in microplastics every single day. It breaks down mitochondria. It destroys it. And in the second half, I'm going to go through what plastics do to your actual hormonal system. So this is our first microplastic binder. Like literally, who needs stuff like this? That's why I said this is going to change humanity, but this is innovative because it allows us to actually go through and help what is not out there right now, right? B-Clausy strengthens respiratory system and lungs. Guys, anybody know about a virus that's hit our respiratory system here lately in the last couple of years? Look at respiratory issues right now. Like, it's crazy. Kids are just right and left dealing with these upper respiratory infections. This helps it. And if you can take something that can combat what's already going on out there, it is critical and valuable. Gut support, digestion, elimination, absorption. You guys, I can go on and on. I'm so excited. It's like seriously Christmas time. And it's something that I've already noticed. And like, talk about weight loss. We've had one of our team members who started taking this. In the 2 weeks that he's been taking this, 14 pounds, 15 pounds he's already lost. And before that, he was doing all the right stuff and had lost about 4 or 5 pounds, but this just unlocked the door for that because of a lot of those B vitamins, ashwagandha, just the products that will detox, and he probably lost a lot of toxins as well. So guys, when you start looking at an actual product that resource and have innovation at this level, it gets sometimes hard because when you look at the people who can actually afford a product at this level, it would literally be someone who can afford thousands of dollars per month for bottles of all these clinically studied ingredients right there. Now in Max Living, and in our company, and in our world, do you think we want to help just the few who can afford that? Or do you think we want to help as many people as we can? We want to help as many people as we can. So our company has worked diligently to resource and actually create these in a way that the average person can not only afford these for themselves and their families, but can drastically move the needle of their health in the right direction and keep them out of doctors' offices. So when you actually just look at those 20 clinically studied ingredients in their forms, that is about $500 a month per person worth of nutrients inside of that supplement right there. That is not even including the regenerative organic grass-fed organs, the other grass-fed organs, and multiple other things that I haven't even gone through today. So when you add in all of those products plus the grass-fed organs, you're looking at about $1,000 per month per person for these studied ingredients and these products right here. Now listen, I think that is absolutely incredible that we actually have something that has that much value, but not gonna happen for the majority of people. And guess what? Even if it could happen, let's just say you needed this and your kid needed this as well. Guess who's the one person who's gonna get it? It's likely your kid, right? So what we did is we put this together in a supplement bundle. And listen, as excited as I am about these products, I think I'm actually a little more excited at the price that we're not only able to bring it to you guys in this room here today, not just to the Max Living offices around our country, but honestly to the entire world. So instead of being $1,000 per person, the price point in our clinic for the supplement bundle is gonna be $199.97, which is, again, absolutely incredible.